Welcome everyone to lesson 1.4 from calculus, which is finding limits from tables. So what I have here is I have a very complicated table. I made a very nice piecewise function that I have covered up with my lovely face. And we're going to look at the table and see what happens specifically at our undefined values of 1 and 3. So I have some lovely assortment of x values, some below 1, some above 1, some below 3, some above 3. And we can see some interesting things going on, especially with the choice of numbers I've used. As you see, as we get closer and closer to 1, I've used really close x values. So instead of going up and incrementing by the same amount each time, I'm choosing to go maybe by a half, or a tenth, or a hundredth, in order to see what really goes on as we get really close to our numbers. So these points have been very strategic. And if we look as my x gets closer and closer to 1 from the left-hand side, these numbers here are getting closer and closer to essentially 2. All of these numbers are 1. The decimals are getting larger, but they're not getting large enough to where I think they would overtake 2. So I think it would be a very good estimation to say that the left-hand side, the limit as x approaches 1 from the left of f of x is equal to 2. And if we look from the right-hand side, looking from 1.5 and then going towards the 1, you can see that they kind of decrease and approach 2 as well. So it looks like the left-hand side limit of x approaching 1 is also 2, which means that the limit exists. The limit as x approaches 1 from both sides for f of x is equal to 2. Now, unfortunately for 3, the same story doesn't seem to play. If we look at the left-hand side of 3, we can see we go from 2 to 1, and then we go to 1.69 and the 1.96. It looks like from these two things here, especially the ones that are really close, the 2.5 is a little far away, but the ones that are really close, it looks like it's getting really close to 2. It looks like it's approaching 2. But if we go from the opposite direction, 6, 4.5, 3.3, 3.03, it looks like this one's approaching 3. And since they're approaching different numbers, even on this table, we can kind of tell that the limit as x approaches 3 for f of x does not exist. Now, when you watch the full video, I'll show you how to use your calculator to do some of this, and there's also some tricky questions that might get thrown in there, but that is essentially it. It's using a table to figure out limits, and you want to use x values that are really close and look for trends. It's not an exact science, it's a lot of estimation, but I wish you best of luck, and make sure you practice this one. I'll see you in the next video.